Yo, what is up, guys? We're here back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the 1.3.6 update of the first Descendant. Came out October 1st, 2025. It came out about a week or some change ago, so I'm just, now wanting to go through it. This is going to be my first ever, informational video dealing with dealing with the first Descendant. So it's going to be I'm going to be a little bit nervous as doing this at the moment. Because it's my first time doing this, so I'm trying to get used to voiceovers and stuff, and just doing talking and playing games and stuff like that, doing gameplay stuff. So I'll probably do more in the near future, but today we're just going to be talking about a lot of things of the changes that they did in this game are phenomenal, especially with this update right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get into that. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys turn up on that notification bell, share with your friends. I ain't the best. You're Kai Snag, you're Mr. Beast. I ain't got it like that. But hopefully in the future we can make a good community, and yeah, we can go ahead and get started. Okay, so one of the first thing that they added in update patch note 1.3.6, they added in new melee weapons. Yes, you heard that right. We have new melee weapons. We have two melee weapons called the Shadow, and the other one called the Deus Ex Manus. Pretty good, melee weapons. One is one uses impact rounds, and the other one uses heavy power rounds. The Shadow's unique ability called Shadow Slash. Press special attack button to charge the weapon with energy. Once the weapon is charged, use Shadow Dash to dash forward and deal damage. After dashing, wield the weapon consecutively to use Shadow Slash and deal damage. The damage and dashing distance increases by the amount of energy charged in the weapon. Basically, the more dash you have, the bigger the damage is. This weapon would go great with Keelan because one of his abilities, I think his 2, 3, I'm not totally sure. I don't have Keelan at the moment, but I think one of his dashing abilities actually deal damage while he's dashing through enemies, and so forth. So I feel like that would be really good with Keelan as well. We also have the Deus Ex Manus, which is a power melee weapon. It uses high power rounds, and it has a unique ability called Liberation. On successful normal attack, consumes MP to deal additional damage. On successful normal attacks, grants Liberation and resistance to self. Essentially, the more MP it consumes, the more damage is dealt. On successful normal attacks, grant Liberation and resistance to self, basically the user. While holding Liberation, special attack is activated, reduces incoming damage while holding resistant. Pressing special attack button while holding Liberation removes the effect, and the character strikes and weapon down to deal damage. Essentially dealing more damage the more dealing more damage the more you use the weapon while consuming MP. Just to simplify that, it says that the damage stacks while keeping the damage at a very consistent rate, while increasing it gradually over time the more Liberation and more successful hits you have. They also added in an event pass with the swords. They said the event pass will include sword skins and stuff like that. I'll have pictures posted up just from what the sword pass looks like. The swords, some of them actually is a reference. So one of the sword skins is actually a reference to The Witcher. I think you'll see that I'll have a little photo popped up right there. They said that the sword pass is displayed as a button on the rightmost side of the battle pass screen. Sword pass can be purchased within, the purchase upgrade, premium upgrade. I think you guys know that, by spending caliber. Basically the same thing that you do with the normal battle pass, you do with the sword battle pass. So XP from battle pass XP is now used, I think, together, because I have the battle pass maxed out on the normal. I just haven't bought it yet. And then on the sword battle pass, it's more of just its own little thing. We also have for this one, for this one is that all missions from the sword pass will be announced at the same time. They will not be renewed or added on a daily or weekly basis. That means anything that was in that, so if you guys remember, in the normal battle pass you had to wait bi-weekly to get certain quests and certain weekly missions. For the battle pass, for the sword battle pass, you don't have to do that, because the battle pass the normal battle pass already has that. It also says that obviously you can complete missions and stuff like by doing it. Is that you also may acquire transcendent skins. They also have 2 transcendent skins, one for the Shadow and one for the Deus for the sword pass. We also have some new content going in dealing with Void Vessel, called Medium Size Faculty Zone. Essentially, you can enter through this map in Albion. It will be right by the terminal, the Void Vessel terminal, the one that's sitting right there, by Seneca, if that's how you pronounce his name, the guy who deals with the Colossus, and it'll be sitting right there. The Void Vessel that we had before isn't completely removed, it's just put in normal mode, so now you can they still have it, so if you haven't gotten the dog from there, or you haven't gotten Anise or Keelan from there, they still have it up in there with the normal drop rates. Nothing changed. They do have a harder difficulty for it. They also said that the medium-sized faculty zone harder difficulty is unlocked when reaching mastery rank 15 and clearing medium-sized faculty zone normal difficulty. New trapped surveillance cameras. Basically, when you are detected by a surveillance camera, a formidable monster will spawn. As basic, I think when we had the Void Vessel last time, that's basically what that is. When they had the little radar guys up top, they said that the trigger module loot A, normal accusation chance 10%, hard accusation chance 20%. Upon acquiring trigger module loot A, you can obtain one of the wave, eruption, rhythmic step, and supply fortress. Mutant cell box, you'll also get with a chance of 2.5%, hard accusation chance of 5% by opening up mutant cell box B. You select one of the new mutant cells to obtain. The Veil Analyzer melee weapon module, they added in some more. They added in some new melee modules for obviously the melee weapons, for the impact round and the high power round, the accusation chance for 5% each. They also added in a new type of currency called decryption keys 2. Basically the same thing that we used when we were unlocking the specialized boxes in the last Void Vessel missions that we were doing before to get those materials. After every single completion, we have 6 keys granted. So I think they increased the chances. I'm not totally sure because I do not remember. So these keys are required to open up some storage boxes and containers that can be found in the medium-sized faculty zone. With They have collectible coins with normal of 25. So if you do normal mode, you get 25 collectible coins. If you do hard mode, you get 40 with support coins. With normal mode, you get 8. Hard mode, you get 12. The materials required to craft the crystallization catalyst, obviously. And then you'd get, all this other stuff with the decryption keys and opening up. Basically, it's the same thing that they used when they had the last world vessel. So it's completely the same. We just have a new type of currency, decryption keys. I'll actually leave a link down in the description for this patch note so you can go back and look over it, if anything that I missed. We also have a new void intercept battle called the Abyss Challenge. Basically, it's like taking the fire turtle and putting it in a giant battlefield just filled with lava. It says that change the void intercept battle Abyss Challenge leaderboard to a lava citadel. To intercept the lava citadel, you must reach mastery rank 18. Just make sure, and then you complete the most powerful colossus so you can have this unlocked. The attribute for this lava citadel is a fire attribute. I'm pretty sure that was a gimme. It absorbs, what it does is that it absorbs the energy of the void abyss through the battlefield's void pillars and use that energy to attack. It says during the void reflux mode, Lava Citadel will use a wide AoE skill and ring skill. Basically like, how in Deathstalker in Deathstalker, when they have that wide ring of like poison, yeah, basically that's what that is. But it's like flames and lavas and stuff like that. It says that you can also get a void challenge lava citadel surging heat effect to lead a battle in your favor. Its vulnerability is chill attack. I'm pretty sure you guys did that. They said they'll have some maintenance on the 1st to the 4th. I think this is already passed because by the time I'm making this, we're already like a week into the weekend. Basically they just give out the same thing. They give out collectible coins when you kill the boss. They give out collectible coins, the Blazing One Descendant skin by a Descendant, the cool toys with the Lava Citadel, and you have a chance, you may continue to get the Thunder Barrier skin and the Cold Toy Storm Hanger back attachment as a reward exchange. Even the update, you can go in the ETA shop because when the ETA shop resets, it always comes in on Friday, and then it stays here until Monday. We have a new type of thing where, just like in Destiny 2 and 1, how we had the Cryptar for like exotics and stuff like that, they have significantly changed opening up Animorph materials and not having to make it such a painful like grind to open them up. It says change in the opening sites of Animorph material. All type of Animorph material can now be opened through the shaping device NPC located in Albion. Shaping devices located near NPC NIEs in Albion. Reconstructed devices granted when clearing intercept battles and void fusion reactors are removed and will no longer be generated. This is a very, very good thing. So now you can just basically, if you have like 400 Animorph material of some kind, you can just go to freaking Albion and open them all up in one sitting. It says with the removal of reconstructed devices, conditions and routes of some quests that may require using reconstructed devices have been changed. You can proceed to shape continuously through shaping device NPC. Basically what they mean by shape continuously, that if you press the Animorph material one time, it will shape it one time, and then shape continuously. You can just spam the button and it will continue to keep shaping the material. So you can just spam, get your stuff and get out of there. Shaping manually shape selected anamorph material one by one. Shaping stops when all selected anamorph material are shaped or when all selected shape stabilizers are consumed. And that is about it for this one. It is a very great change that they've made with the anamorph materials. I know for a fact a lot of you probably would love this. Not even probably, everybody would love this. It makes the anamorph material grind a little bit more easier and a little bit more calming because you don't have to go to these places just to unlock certain anamorph material. So if you have any anamorph material that you want to unlock, let's just say from like Deathstalker, because we know that's a little bit difficult to complete, even just, fighting a team publicly or, trying to do it by yourself. And you need to do Deathstalker in order to unlock those anamorph materials. And it can be a hassle unlocking those anamorph materials. I'll go over that again. We also have Descendant rebalancing / improvements. The skill performance displayed is based on the level 4 skills. We have our first with Kyle, adjusted the performance of the following skills: repulsion dash, increase accumulated stacks to 3 to 5, increase max dash distance on button hold to 10 meters to 20 meters. They sped up the dash on collision to the target, stop and damage to target, pierce, and damage. Damage range. They increased the damage for his dash from 1,017,000.8% to 2,644.5%. They gave him additional piercing damage to 1,117.8% damage. With his magnetic bulwark move, type change to a toggle instead of a toggle. Now it's just standard. They also changed his other one to toggle and neutralization. They reduced the shield cost reduction to 7% to 4%. Added barrier effect inflicts stun and damage to enemies that run into barrier. They increased that to 1635.8%. Move barrier monster hit count to 100. They also increased his magnetism spurt to a cooldown reduction of 30 seconds to 15 seconds. Magnetic force cost reduction to 8% to 3%, which is a massive decrease. Damage reduction, they increased it to 25% to 30%. Damage is now increased to 3,138 to 4,049.4%. That is a massive damage increases even for characters like him. Additional damage to his spurt increased it from 274.8 to 412.2%. They increased his movement speed for the spurt to 50%. With his super conductivity thrusters, when used in midair, instantly go down. Flight speed is now up. Additional effects with party members: bonus skill attack on Colossus at 1,000 by the number of party members. Max stack is 3. So basically, if you have basically just a full team, he'll basically get a bonus attack with Colossus by 4, basically by 4,000 damage, which is a very lot. They said the existing skill of Collision Instinct module had been removed, and its name and skill were changed to Super Conductivity Bombing Mark II. Elimination of Collision Instinct. So I think that they removed that. There's a lot of what they changed with Kyle. I know he was like more of like an AoE type of character, so maybe they're just, giving him that damage that, he deserves and stuff. Um, they said they changed the name. So the abilities for Super Conductivity Bombing Mark II soars up in the air and flies Super Conductivity Bombing at the spot. Cooldown is now 140 seconds, duration is 10 seconds, damage reduction is 25%, 30%, oops, I read that wrong. Damage reduction is 25% and increased it by 30. It says when skill ends when magnetic force is fully consumed, minimum magnetic force conditions and magnetic force cost per bombing is negative 540. They increased the bomb damage by 4,833.5%, adjusted some of the skill performance of the self-directed eruption. They decreased the cooldown from 30 seconds to 15 seconds, adjusted some skill performance with his diamantic bulwark. If that's how you pronounce his name, I don't know its name. Balanced, or they changed, was Ajax. They said that changed the singularity effect attributed to each stage. Stage 1, they decrease the cooldown decreasing from 5%. Increase the explosive attack to 20%. This is before stats, so that they for stage 2 cooldown decrease to 10%, explosive attack 40%. Stage 3 cooldown decrease 20% and explosive attack 60%. I don't know a lot about this character, so I do not know. I'm just going based off reading it and putting in my best opinion as possible, so bear with me here. On the after side, after they changed all that, they the explosive attack from 4 was 20%, and after they increased it by 50%, so he gets more explosive attack. Explosive attack was increased again by 50% for stage 2. Increased the explosive attack by 50%, so basically made it balanced. They decreased the cost for his orbit barrier from 30 to 15, enhanced his max reflection damage rate to 117% to 150%. Void walk leap enhancement, they increased the duration from 16 seconds to 20 seconds, so he's able to use that a little bit more. They increased the shield by 103% to 120%, added stat effect movement speed 30%, and explosion added in a skill type clash, increased his damage from 2,480.8% to 3,314 to 3,314.1%. They enhanced the damage from his explosion to 4,021% to 5,403.3%. That is a large, these updates for these characters. Updates for these characters are just insane. When they increase the damage, this right here is insane. With his hypercube, they decrease the MP cost from 50 to 35, enhance the barrier when he uses hypercube. Firearm attack increase 10% to 25%, explosive attack increase to 20% to 25%. They added in a stat effect, firearm critical hit rate to 15%. Same with damage is 15%. They adjusted some performance with the void charge because I think it was giving you unbalanced like defense and damage with the enhanced damage when he uses that. They said they increase the proportional defense when he uses Void Charge to 17.3% to 20%. The damage with Void Charge increased from 2,239.6% to 2,881.5%. So that's not a too bad of an increase. Just gave it a couple more damage points. Explosion proportional to defense, they increased it by 3 to 5%. Damage 2,480.8%, increased it by 3,314.1%. Enhanced damage 4,021, basically the same type of damage they increased from explosion the last time. I think this is for his barrier, I think. Looking right here, it seems to be the same here. Again, you can go back and look. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. 150%. The third Descendant that they had reworked was adjusting Esmo's adventitious habit. Explosion damage increased to 2,072.5% to 2,269.8%. That is, again, pretty good. Time Bomb, the projectile movement speed was increased to a plus 25%. Explosion damage was increased to 1,368.6%. Explosion damage was increased to from that number to 2,129.7%. Blast, it can now be used while sprinting. They said they increased the skill power increase to 4 times to 5 times. A guided landmine can now be used while sprinting. Again, just like Blast, adjusted to allow for faster transitions to other actions after use. Increase the stat cooldown to 18 seconds to 24 seconds, so you'll be able to use guided landmine for a while, especially with your mods and the arcane tuning. You'll be able to use that for quite a while. They decreased the max stats of guided landmine to from 3 to 2. They increased tremendously the explosion damage to 2,848.8% to 5,185.3%. That is a lot of explosion damage. They also made adjustments to the changes of directional mid movement. Basically, when he's in the air and he's doing his fourth ability, they decreased the cooldown to 80 seconds to 70 seconds. Knockback damage to 85.8% to 777.0%. I think that's all with him. With Bunny, actually, this is pretty good. Like, given how that I do have Bunny, so I can have more opinions about this character. With Thrill Bomb can be now used while sprinting. Excuse me. Electricity cost is now. They increased the electricity cost for Thrill Bomb from 100 to 120. They increased the per 10% of the electricity retained increase it to 15% to 17%. Increase the damage of Thrill Bomb to 187.9% to 1,636.4%, and increase the max hit that you can hit multiple enemies with from 8 to 12. speed of light, adjusted to not collide with enemies while on speed of light. Basically, she's able to run through enemies without no problem, without slowing down, without anything. I was hoping this would be inside the game a little bit sooner, but I'm glad they added in this. I'm glad they added this now to where it's more essential to the speed of light, because when she uses her second ability and she gets slowed or she gets hit by the enemies that are in front of her, she can't speed up, so you can get that blue bar mana back. They increased the lightning emission for damage. This is her third ability. They increased the damage from 185.8% to 198.7%. They decreased the electricity cost for maximum power from 240 to 140 per second. Amplified level 3 damage is now increased to 40% to 60%. This is with the mods. Now, electric connaissance cannot be used while sprinting. Kind of self-explanatory. Damage is now increased with electric connaissance to 4,715 to 7,484. They adjusted the superconduct, again can be used while sprinting. Electricity cost is now increased to 100 to 120. The damage is now increased to 187.9% to 1,636.4%. Bionic fuel, adjusted to not collide with enemies while on the speed of light. Again, basically she could just run through enemies like she's Harry Potter or something with the cloak on. Bionic fuel, they increased the electricity obtained from 0.3% to 0.5%. Decreased the HP cost from 5 to 8% to 6%. Ceased HP consumption below 15% of max HP, below 35% of max HP. Increased the damage with electric charge. Damage is now increased from 4,847.5% to 5,322.3%. Through bomb electricity cost is now increased to 100 to 150. The damage is increased to 1,271.0% to 2,383.5%. The damage for lightning emission is increased from 425 to 8% to 523.5%. This is some pretty good stuff for Bunny, because given the fact how basically now she is a running tank. So they increased some of her HP, lowered it down from when you use bionic fuel. I don't really use that mod like that, because I like to keep my HP instead of using it for damage. Again, I do like it how that some of her abilities are not increased, especially with this more difficult content that they have now. Especially with the void erosion and the void vessel with, hard difficulty, like I said before. This is now with Luna. They adjusted the firearm and max damage of the explosion inspiration effect from Ultimate Luna's Battlefield Artist module. They increased the max damage multiplier from 150% to 210%, and added Charm, a new skill type to Remix skill, which can be used upon equipping Ultimate Luna's Battlefield Artist mode, Battlefield Artist module. Excuse me. Added Rhythm and a new skill type to Luna's skill listed below. For default, it was Passionate Stage, Relaxing Act, and Delightful Stage. For Noise Surge, now it is Exciting Surge, Relaxing Surge, and Chillful Surge. Aggressive Melody is now changed from Passionate Stage and Delightful Stage. Singer's Mercy, Passionate Stage, Relaxing Act, and Delightful Stage. Battlefield Concert has Passionate Stage, Intensive Stage, Fan Service, and Battlefield Artist has Aggressive Inspiration to Lethal Inspiration, Sharp Inspiration 2. Opponents for the swords. If you have on a two-piece, they added in new external components for the swords, specifically for the swords. If you have on two external components of this, it gives you a bonus melee weapon attack by 6%. If you have any full stack, it says 1 stack of the Knight's willpower per second, 2 stacks of attacking target while using normal attacks with a melee weapon up to 10 stacks. Knight's willpower effect is converted to Knight's strike with 10 stacks. Knight's strike increase melee attack range modifier of the next melee weapon. Normal attack by 10% and deals additional damage equal to 22.7% of the melee weapon attack. Basically, the more attack you have on your weapon, or the sword in this case, you gain more of that, up to 10 stacks. The more you have, the more strikes you have, and you get additional range as well, which is really, really cool. New mutant cells. They added one called non-attribute impairment. When inflicting a debuff on a target with a skill, inflicts non-attribute impairment on the skill. Duration is 10 seconds. Outgoing damage reduction. Non-attribute skill power boost ratio from 5.9%, and reduction, and a max reduction of that is a 12.8%. Cooldown against the same target is it has a 30-second cooldown. Fire impairment, basically the same thing all around. Chill impairment, toxic impairment, electric impairment, singularity damage, conversion. Single skill power boost ratio increases proportionally to the amount of HP consumed. The effect is not applied when max HP is 1. Singular skill power boost ratio consumed HP ratio times 32.5%. Max increase is 17.1%. All the same with singular damage conversion, dimension, tech, and fusion. 2 new stats called the bonus weapon attack versus Legion of Breach, and bonus skill attack to Legion of Breach again. Now they have it so where it's weapon instead of firearm attack. Yeah, that's kind of about it. This is just some stuff about the UI and stuff, about the party system, social tags. They got those now, so now they have it so where you can find parties much easier if you don't have anybody online at the time. Just make playing the game a little bit easier, so you can actually find the people that you want for said mode. If you're trying to find intercept battle, go to intercept battle. If you're trying to find some help for invasion missions, for carry, something like that, just look in the tab for the party social and it should be there. They also, with the reactors, reactor optimization conditions have been completely removed, so you don't need to have a certain weapon class on that reactor in order for you to use it. The maximum reactor power is now applied regardless of whether specific weapon types are equipped or used. Due to the removal of reactor optimization conditions, reactor transplantation is no longer available. As a token of appreciation of the effort put into the reactor transplantation, all Descendants will be granted 3 crystallization catalysts. And that is about it. With these changes, I gotta sit there and say that I really do like the changes, because it kind of gives the game a little bit more diversity and lets you kind of build what you want to. And especially with, I think my favorite one out of this is Bunny's ability, where she's just able to just run through enemies. I can think of so many stuff, so much activity she can just do without having to be slowed down by enemies. Again, with Ajax, Esmos, and Ultimate Luna, I don't have them yet, so I can't really speak about them because I haven't did a lot of grinding with that character. I just see that that Luna, and even Luna is the only one that I see at the moment, because you know she just came out, everybody trying to get her. It's like a real, like, just a giant like rope rainbow party, like every single time. It gives me epilepsy every time. I'm just joking, by the way. But other than that, I'm glad that they removed to where the reactors do not need a weapon type, and you can just use any weapon. Doesn't mean the weapon is completely useless. It just means that you have more diversity. You can now use weapons that you thought that you didn't want to use because you couldn't use it on that reactor. Now you can. With these swords, it is confirmed, if anybody was wondering, for Glay, since she has a infinite ammo type of thing, yes, it is confirmed that you can use that while using that ability. I think somebody in Albion said that, and they had tried it and it worked. But let me know down in the comments if it does work and not. I'm not totally sure. But soon enough, you know, I'll do some gameplay with that. As I was talking with all that, there was just some gameplay in the background. I think I don't remember if I mentioned that there, but as I'm talking about this, there's just going to be some gameplay in the background. I just recorded. I had recently built Blair, and you know, stuff like that. I just recently built Blair, and you know, just some gameplay of me doing some 400%, you know, just doing dailies and just using the character fully built. So yeah, I think that is all for that update. I don't think I missed anything. If I did, let me know in the comments, and then, you know, I'll talk about it on like a stream or something, or anything. I'll put, like, you know, all my socials down below. But I think, yeah, that's about it. If you guys liked the video and thought it was very informative, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when I post and stuff like that. So this is my first time doing this, so if there's, you know, any cuts and stuff, I don't think I'm gonna cut anything out. I'm just gonna leave it how it is and just plaster it up behind the gameplay, and then just hopefully it turns out well. So yeah, and peace out. You guys have a good day and the rest of your night, or whenever you're watching this, and hopefully you guys, you know, enjoy this as much as I do. Peace.